well, I don't want to come off the bench is not a personal issue. Well, I don't like my role.
Wave veteran Dewanna Bonner, the team announced. Indiana looked at trade possibilities for the six-time All-Star who had not played since June 10th for what the team called, quote, personal reasons. Well, the personal reasons were, from what I could tell, playing time is what I knew.
It was supposed to be a perfect match. A six-time All-Star, Dewanna Bonner, was brought in to be the mama bear for Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever, but instead of providing leadership, she acted like a spoiled child who threw a tantrum. After getting benched for shockingly poor play, Bonner didn't fight for her spot back. She abandoned her team entirely, hiding behind the pathetic excuse of personal reasons. This is the story of how a veteran's ego imploded under the national spotlight, and the truth behind her vanishing act reveals a calculated betrayal that goes deeper than anyone imagined.
Dewanna Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. See ya, wouldn't wanna be ya.
When Dewanna Bonner signed with the Indiana Fever, the narrative was perfectly crafted. She was hailed as the final piece of the puzzle, the seasoned professional who would bring wisdom and stability to a roster buzzing with youthful energy and headlined by the generational talent Caitlin Clark. The front office presented her as a cornerstone of their ambitious new project, a leader who would mentor the young core and help them navigate the unprecedented media storm. She was supposed to be the voice of calm, the steady hand on the wheel, but from the moment the season tipped off, the player on the court was a shadow of the leader she was proclaimed to be. The stats told a brutal story.
Dewanna Bonner out with the old. Aari McDonald, welcome back in with the new. Breaking. The Fever are waving. Dewanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Aari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade option.
In her first 3 starts, Bonner was practically invisible, averaging a shocking 2.6 points while shooting an abysmal 2 for 12 from the field. This wasn't a slump, this was a complete regression. Coach Christy Sides, tasked with building a competitive team, was left with no other option. She made the logical necessary move and benched Bonner, promoting Lexi Hull, a younger, hungrier player who was actually contributing to winning basketball. For a true leader, this demotion would have been a challenge to be met with hard work and determination. For Dewanna Bonner, it was an unforgivable insult, and it lit the fuse for her dramatic exit.
Dewanna Bonner signs a free agent contract with the Indiana Fever, and after a handful of games, wants out, wants a Fever exit, apparently. And that is a strange situation, right? Because she was embraced, she had her achievement at the beginning of the season, moving up the scoring ranks. They were referring to her as Mama Bear in training camp, and now all of a sudden that has fallen apart. She was out of the starting lineup, hadn't really produced that much, particularly on the offensive end, and this, looks poor on the franchise when it comes to the free agent moves in retrospect, the team that they put together in the offseason. I don't think it reflects well on Dewanna Bonner, whose absence was for quote-unquote personal reasons, but now it seems like she was just upset with the team and the situation overall, and it adds more drama to what has been a drama-filled season for Caitlin Clark in the Indiana.
This is where the story shifts from on-court struggles to off-court drama. Following her benching, Bonner was suddenly declared out, with the team citing vague personal reasons for her absence. For 5 consecutive games, as her teammates fought and clawed through a grueling schedule, their veteran leader was nowhere to be seen. But the official narrative quickly began to crumble. Sources close to the team and reporters who read between the lines started to reveal the truth. The personal reason wasn't a family emergency or a private crisis. The personal reason was that her pride had been wounded.
Her minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, if her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, I'm not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels she would be the best.
She was not taking time to deal with life. She was throwing a prolonged public tantrum because she had lost her starting spot. She completely abandoned her team, leaving them hanging while she pouted about her diminished role. Her request for a trade, which soon followed, confirmed what everyone suspected. Her statement that the fit did not work out was the oldest excuse in the book, basketball code for "I can't handle not being the center of attention." It was a stunning act of unprofessionalism, a move that exposed her commitment to the team as conditional and paper thin.
She couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from the three. She's an excellent three-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out every single game.
To truly understand Bonner's meltdown, you have to understand the seismic earthquake that is the Caitlin Clark effect. Dewanna Bonner likely signed with the Fever, envisioning a comfortable, low-pressure season where she could coast on her reputation, mentor a few players, and collect a substantial paycheck. She was signing up for the WNBA of old, but she didn't join the old WNBA. She joined a cultural phenomenon. Suddenly, every single Indiana Fever game was a sold-out spectacle. Arenas that were once half empty were now packed with 17,000 screaming fans. Every game was a national television event, with millions of new eyes dissecting every single play.
Bonner, don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split ya. What's a see ya, wouldn't want to be ya, right? I'm not telling you gotta go home, but you gotta get up out of here. Dewanna Bonner out with the old. Aari McDonald, welcome back in with the new breaking. The Fever are waving. Dewanna Bonner, league sources told the Indy Star, then re-signing Aari McDonald. Bonner requested a trade after feeling she couldn't find a role on the team after getting benched, along with bevy of other reasons as we covered yesterday. But Indiana could not find a suitable trade option. My first reaction...
The pressure was immense, the scrutiny was relentless, and the spotlight was white hot. But that spotlight wasn't for her. The fans, the cameras, the media, they were all there for one reason: Caitlin Clark. For a veteran with a decorated career and a significant ego, being a supporting character in someone else's blockbuster show was clearly unbearable. She resented the fact that a 22-year-old rookie had single-handedly accomplished more for the league's visibility than she had in her entire career. The pressure didn't forge her into a stronger leader. It simply exposed the cracks in her character for all to see.
So the truth is, Dewanna Bonner was butthurt. That's what it comes down to. She was butthurt. Her ego was bruised, and she wanted to cry and leave. This is a shame. See, if you're truly a team player, you accept that Lexi Hull's better than you. You accept being a role player and contribute of the way you can. And why do you even care at this point? You're 37 years old. You're making a lot of money for a WNBA player. Why not just ride it out? I don't understand that. You know what it was? She missed her boo thing in Phoenix, and she just want to wiggle her way out so she can go to Phoenix. That's all it was.
While Bonner chose to retreat and quit, her departure created a vacuum that was filled by players who embodied the exact opposite of her mentality. The contrast is stark and tells the whole story. First, there was Lexi Hall, the player who rightfully took Bonner's spot. Hull didn't get the starting job through politics or favoritism. She earned it with pure grit. She became a sniper from three-point range, a relentless defender who hustled for every loose ball, and she played every second with a heart and intensity that Bonner seemed to have lost years ago.
Get here. Long story short, DB thought her role was going to be one thing. She came in playing terrible, got benched, and was upset about it. Long story short, Shorty got her record and dipped. That's low-key crazy, y'all. Shorty dipped from the team for personal reasons for 5-6 games and then said she has no intentions on coming back? Because you sucked this year? She really had to be a double agent, dog. There's no way. She a career 29% three-point shooter, but she was shooting 30-footers with us. No bullshit. Like, it's no way. She was missing layups. She was getting blown by, like...
Hull put the team first, and her performance validated the coach's decision. Then there was the other veteran on the team, Natasha Howard. She was also brought in to provide leadership and faced her own set of challenges with a shifting role, but her response was that of a true professional. Howard didn't disappear. She didn't demand a trade. She showed up every single day and fought for her minutes. She understood that being a leader means weathering adversity, not running from it. Howard's steadfast professionalism made Bonner's selfish desertion look even more childish and inexcusable by comparison.
Anybody with any intuition could sort of see that this was getting odd. The amount of time that she had missed with no explanation as to why, no timeline on her return, not making the road trip, all of these things, the lack of information, the basic mystery would be enough to get anybody's spidey sense tingling about this situation. But on top of that, I'll tell you this much. I heard that it was more basketball related than anything else over the weekend.
Out of the chaos of Bonner's toxic exit, a new hero for the Fever faithful emerged, and her story is the perfect antidote to Bonner's entitlement. Her name is Aari McDonald. Her journey is a testament to perseverance. After being cut by the Los Angeles Sparks during training camp, McDonald was left without a team and an uncertain future. When the Fever needed a temporary player on a hardship contract, they gave her a call. She didn't arrive with an ego or a list of demands. She arrived with pure gratitude and an infectious, high-octane motor. In just a handful of games, she became an instant fan favorite, electrifying the crowd with her tenacious defense, her playmaking, and her relentless energy.
And there's been so much speculation around her absence, but the whole thing was just kind of bizarre, and a lot of Fever fans were speculating that we're not going to see her back. And just today, it was announced that she has no intentions on returning to the Indiana Fever, and her preferred destinations are either Atlanta or the Phoenix Mercury. It's also been reported that the main reason that she wanted to leave is because things felt off from the beginning and she thought that she would be a starter. But if you guys remember, DB was starting in the beginning of the season and she honestly just wasn't playing her best, so Lexi Hall moved into that starting position.
While Bonner was complaining that the fit didn't work, McDonald was telling the media that playing for the Fever immediately felt like the place to be. One player was running from the moment, the other was embracing it with both arms. The Fever's general manager, Lynn Dunn, summed it up perfectly, stating that from the moment McDonald arrived, she was a clear fit with the style and mentality we are building here. Notice that key phrase, style and mentality. That's exactly what Bonner never understood. The Fever aren't building a team to accommodate fragile egos. They are building a culture of toughness, resilience, and a commitment to winning.
Dewanna Bonner knew damn well she didn't want to come to Indiana. She knew she didn't want to be there. She knew she didn't want to be there. I think the fix was in. The Phoenix Mercury didn't have the bread to pay her. She said, I'm going to get the bag elsewhere, and then I'm going to force my way out to where within the first half of the season before All-Star, Alyssa Thomas, I'm going to be on your team. I think the fix has been in. I think the Phoenix Mercury knew this was going to happen. I think they knew this was going to happen. I think she played bad on purpose. She plummeted her stock to the point where it's not like we could trade her. It's official. It is official, y'all.
Just when the story couldn't get any more dramatic, it takes a darker, more conspiratorial turn when you look at where Bonner was reportedly trying to force her way to. Her preferred destinations, Phoenix and Atlanta, tell you everything you need to know about her mindset and her alliances within the league. Phoenix would have been a return to her comfort zone, but more importantly, it would have put her in a locker room with players who have made their friction with Caitlin Clark well known. The other option, Atlanta, was similarly aligned with the league's old guard, who have openly shown their resentment for Clark's meteoric rise.
Aari McDonald back, that's good business. Glad she's back. I knew she was waiting after all those hardship contracts were being signed by different players on different teams. I was like, man, look, Aari not on a team yet. She's coming back.
Bonner wasn't trying to join a contender, she was trying to join the anti-Caitlin Clark brigade. This led to a stunning conspiracy theory that began to bubble up among fans and analysts. Did Bonner plan this all along? Did she sign with Indiana just for the massive paycheck, knowing DMN well she would play poorly, crater her own trade value, and force the team to waive her so she could sign for cheap with one of her preferred toxic destinations? It sounds like a plot from a movie, but her actions were so bizarre and self-destructive that the theory became shockingly plausible. She didn't just quit on her team. There's a real possibility she actively sabotaged her position from the very beginning.
Anyway, it was pretty evident that Bonner did not want to be a part of this team. The fans seemed to take her in, but that wasn't enough. The fact Bonner had zero trade value is telling too. Aari McDonald was so impressive in her first stint in Indiana. She'll be a great fit. Now, I do feel like maybe they couldn't find a way to trade Bonner. Like I stated, the two teams she wanted to go to, I didn't see any use for her being there, man. Like, I'm not being disrespectful. There was just no use for her there. And she still wasn't going to start. So, I don't know, man.
Dewanna Bonner's pathetic exit wasn't an isolated incident. It was a symptom of a much larger disease spreading through the WNBA, the bitter war of the old guard against the new wave of greatness. For years, these veterans toiled in relative obscurity, playing in half-empty arenas and fighting for a sliver of media attention. They felt they paid their dues. Then, along comes Caitlin Clark, a player who single-handedly makes the league more relevant than it has ever been. Instead of celebrating the rising tide lifting all boats, bringing bigger contracts, chartered flights, and sold-out crowds, a bitter faction saw it as a personal threat.
So Dewanna Bonner pulls one of the weakest moves in sports history and quits on the Indiana Fever, not even halfway through this season, man. Your ass couldn't hit the fucking side of a barn and was stinking it up every game, and you're mad about a starting spot or some bullshit? Completely lost all respect for your punk ass, man. And now your preferred destination is the Phoenix Mercury in the Dream. Oh, what? So you could go back with Alyssa Thomas and Scissor? What the fuck kind of bullshit is this? And then all the people that hate Caitlin Clark so much, the Black Clan and Black Clan panders, are sitting here supporting this weak-ass move. Y'all call yourselves real so much and all this bullshit, and you're defending a player quitting.
They couldn't stand that a rookie was getting the attention they felt they deserved. And Dewanna Bonner became the poster child for this toxic mindset. She had a choice: embrace the new era and be part of something historic, or side with the haters. She chose the haters. Her decision to abandon her team wasn't just about playing time. It was about choosing a side in the culture war. She aligned herself with the very players who would rather see the league stagnate in mediocrity than celebrate a young superstar who was making them all look irrelevant. And then came the final, most audacious act in this whole charade. After being officially waived by the Fever, a team she quit on, Dewanna Bonner had the nerve to release a statement thanking the organization and its fans. The hypocrisy is staggering. It's like a guest who burns down your house and then thanks you for the hospitality. Who did she think she was fooling? You don't get to abandon your teammates, force your way out, and then pretend you're taking the high road with a gracious press release. But the Fever's response was even more powerful than her empty words. They didn't just quietly move on, they immediately announced the re-signing of Aari McDonald. It was a checkmate move. They replaced the problem with the solution in a single transaction, showing the entire league they were upgrading their culture. The fact that Bonner had zero trade value speaks volumes. The rest of the WNBA saw what the Fever saw, a toxic asset with a bad attitude. Her shameless thank you note was just the final insult in a saga defined by selfishness. In the end, Dewanna Bonner got her wish. She is no longer a member of the Indiana Fever, but she wasn't traded. Her value was so low that no team was willing to give up a single asset for her. The Fever simply cut her loose, closing the book on one of the most embarrassing displays of unprofessionalism in recent sports history. And in a moment of beautiful irony, the team is undeniably better for it. By replacing Bonner's entitled attitude with Aari McDonald's hungry and grateful spirit, the Fever didn't just make a roster change, they performed an exorcism. They cleansed their locker room of a toxic mindset and sent a powerful message to the rest of the league. Bonner's exit is a clear warning to the bitter veterans who resent the new era of WNBA popularity. The days of coasting on reputation are over. The era of comfortable mediocrity has been shattered. In the new landscape shaped by Caitlin Clark, you either rise to the occasion and embrace the pressure of greatness, or you will be unceremoniously left behind. The Indiana Fever have made their choice. They are moving forward, lighter, faster, and stronger, without the dead weight of a player who refused to get on board.